Hi friends, my name is Daniel and I want to talk a little bit about something I've been thinking about a lot the last while with this whole ban on cigarettes and on alcohol. And now first, before we get there, I want to just say that, you know what, living in South Africa makes you really hardcore. We've got some badass people that live in South Africa and that can actually stick it through, because we face all these pressures constantly. Now we face, now with COVID, we face everything that's going on. We see the economy taking hits, people losing jobs. You don't know how solid your job is. You don't know what's happening tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. That pressure is on you. But above that, now that pressure is on the world. But for South Africans, there's extra. There's the corruption from the government. There's crime. There's relational issues that grows because of financial issues. There's all these things that's like keep on eating at you. Now, if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you don't really sleep at night, because at night either you're listening to every sound, every time the dogs are going, you're up and you're checking windows, checking that everything's good. You hear alarms going off all over the show, and it's stressful. It's hard for us to cope right now. In general, it is only hardcore people that can make it in South Africa, right? So I want to talk about this idea of how do we cope. I want to start off by saying this, that I think a lot of us have the capacity to operate on a higher level. Now that's my heart, is I want to see people really live and excel in every area of life, whether it's like in your career, in you spiritually, or you just as a physical person. I want to see you just be at the top of your game. But now there's this one thing, it's this thing called denial. And it's for us, it's easy for you to fall into this, because denial is actually, if you really go look at it, it's the way you lie to yourself. And look, as humans, we're great at this, because actually it's a way that your brain protects you. It's a way that you cope with life. See, denial is the way the brain sort of shuts off from facing something. So when you go through trauma, when you go through something that your brain feels like, listen here, I can't really handle this right now. This moment is too big. When you go through a stressful time, or when you lose someone, or you see something horrific, your brain has the ability to switch off as if it never happened. Now, in trauma counseling, what happens is you have to, within 24 hours, debrief that person so that they would actually walk through what happened, for it to solidify the truth of what you've seen. Otherwise, that thing, that trauma, can turn into PTSD. Now, PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. So the event can become a disorder that will impact you for the rest of your life. And that's why it's so important to debrief, to talk about it. Now, how does that apply to us as South Africans, but as humans? We go through life and we have pressures from all sides. We're facing things, we're fighting inside, right? And we need to cope with this. Now, why I'm bringing up the alcohol and smoking thing is I've just seen through social and through TikTok and also through speaking to people, how people are really not coping. Because the one thing that they use to cope is taken away. Like alcohol is gone, cigarettes is gone, so now what do I have to cope? What can I use to cope with all these pressures like pulling me apart? So the one thing we can do, and this is what a lot of us do, is we go into denial. We start lying to ourselves. We start blocking things out and we don't walk through things. Unfortunately, alcohol and cigarettes have that same effect. That instead of walking through things, we tend to push things down. Alcohol makes you feel great while you're drinking. Afterwards, not that great, but there was a time where you were just able to be free. Nicotine has the same effect on us, that it just calms your nerves. Drugs, eating, you name it. All these things are ways we cope, and it's ways we null the pressure, null the pain, null the experiences we go through. But now I want to say that, guys, there's more for you, right? You can operate on a different level in life. You can become better. You can reach more. You can actually become everything you dream about. Now, the difference between a successful person and a person that's average, that 1%, is the person that's willing to do the thing that hurts without hiding away. The person that's going to say that, listen here, this is the reason that I need to drink, or I need to smoke, or I need to eat, or I need to cope. And I'm going to headbutt this thing. I'm going to sort this thing out. I'm going to walk through this thing. The moment you get to that place, that sweet spot of saying, I'm in control of my life, the external things will not influence me, and I'm going to say where I'm going. If you can reach that place of power, if you can take the power back, if you can take the ability back to say to yourself, this is the life I choose, and you start walking in it, that's powerful. That is success. That is something amazing that you could walk in. What denial is going to do is you might cover up the pain, you might sort of hide away from the pain, but that only means that thing is dragging behind you, and it's going to keep you from reaching what you can reach in life. The success, the money, the dreams you've got is limited to the stuff you're dragging with you. I want you to be free. I want you to walk a light life, and I want you to have success on every level of life. We need to get rid of the things we drag, and we need to start walking in the freedom that we have, or what we could have. Denial's going to lengthen the process for you. Denial hides the real emotions. So this is just for free. Life happens through emotions. Like, you face life and things happen to you, and those things trigger certain emotions. Either you feel rejected, or you're sad, or you say angry. You go through life, stuff happens, those things become emotions, and you feel it. It lives on you. But then what happens, if you feel those things for long enough, those things become beliefs. And a lot of those beliefs are irrational. It's not truth. but we believe it so much, and we've been living in that so much, and we've been like lying to ourselves so much that that becomes your home. I think it's time for you to move and to start thinking differently, taking irrational thoughts, irrational ideas, shifting it out of the way, and start living to your fullness, to your absolute. How do you do that? First of all, identify the things you are in denial about. Identify the things that you think is okay. Identify it, call it on its name, and know of it. And then the second part is you need to speak about it. You need to get someone you trust and talk about these things that you know is holding you back. Whether it's as simple as an irrational belief or an addiction or a thing that a crutch you're walking with. You could be free from that. You need someone to talk to. Find a support group. Find people that can take care of you, that can walk with you. Denial is dangerous. Denial is going to slow you down. Denial is going to stop you from reaching everything you could reach. Like I said in the beginning, denial is a natural response of the body to protect you in a traumatic episode. But denial that does not get handled becomes something very dark, becomes something that will impact the rest of your life. Don't allow that hardship rule your future, but walk through hardship, because it's hardship that makes you a badass. It's hardship that makes you strong. It's the stuff we go through in life that makes us to become badass South Africans, but badass people in general. I hope this was encouraged. Please like and subscribe if you want more of this content. Guys, have a good one. Cheers.